So we're watching this Nintendo Direct, and we've got Super Mario Maker 2, more info on the Fire Emblem game, a Tetris game that sounds dumb but is actually super fun and addicting, more on that another time, and a bazillion other RPGs that I will not be able to keep straight, nor do I really care to. As we get to the end of the Direct, we're told that they still have one last thing to show off before the end. And my wife and I are mostly disappointed. The only thing that really had me cheering was the reveal of the new Mario Maker, and the rest was just eh. Then the water hit, and it turned into the crashing waves of an ocean. A single bolt of lightning struck the distant horizon, and I said, Link's Awakening. No, said my wife. And then we spotted a small one-person boat climbing the large wave in the distance. Link's Awakening! We both shouted. Link's Awakening! We were ecstatic. One of the most beloved Zelda games was getting a remake, and it had this awesome anime-like design, and... Oh, well, okay, this isn't bad per se. I mean, the cutscene had me expecting something else, but still, this is cute and adorable, and I have already fallen in love with it. So adorable. So a few days went by, and I can say that without a doubt that Nintendo Direct had at most 4 things that interested me at all. Mario Maker 2, Tetris 99, Fire Emblem, and Link's Awakening. And that's it. But people on the internet have a way of bringing out negativity, and a lot of times it's better to just ignore them and just enjoy what you enjoy. That said, a lot of Nintendo fans have been raising some interesting and possibly valid points. Did Nintendo make a mistake by giving us this awesome cutscene at the beginning, one that invoked emotion and suspense with its anime style, only to give us this toy-like gameplay? I've seen people compare Link to the dentist elf from the old Rudolph cartoon, and yeah, I see what they're saying. Like I said, it was jarring for me too at first, but I quickly grew to endear it. This simplistic style is very dreamlike, and spoiler alert for a game that came out when I was only 2 years old. Holy cow. But the whole game takes place within Link's dream. The island, the inhabitants, the chain shop, the Goombas, everyone besides Link and the majestic Windfish himself are all fake. So maybe that's why the art style leaves so much to be desired. Or, and this goes into the second point people have been arguing about, is this as a symptom of a larger problem at Nintendo? Is Nintendo so used to doing things their own way that they just assume they can pull anything out of their butt and their legions of fans will normalize it on their behalf? Well, let's take a look at Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. These are really great games. They're also, very recent. These games breathed life into a very old series by introducing new mechanics and incorporating fresh mechanics that millions of new Pokemon players only understand thanks to Pokemon Go. In short, they did good. However, this game doesn't look like a console game. It looks like Pokemon X and Y got a sweet up-res and that was it. The characters all look the same. The buildings and environments all look the same. They put no ambition into any of the design. There's very little special detail. It just looks like a 3DS game in HD. And we're still looking at things from a bird's eye perspective. Why wasn't this some sort of over-the-shoulder Pokemon game? It could have been more like Breath of the Wild. Not in terms of scope and going wherever you want to go, but in terms of perspective. It's great that we can see the Pokemon on screen and thus no longer need to worry about the outdated random encounter mechanic, but why do we still enter battle screens that only look vaguely like where we were before? I know that Final Fantasy took a lot of flack for some of the decisions they made for Final Fantasy XIII, and rightfully so, but the transition from not fighting to fighting is so seamless that they can barely even tell that anything has changed, and they just perfected that with Final Fantasy XV. Just because a turn-based battle system has to interrupt the flow of gameplay doesn't mean you need to shove that interruption into the player's face. This brings me back to Link's Awakening. And after fans of the series unanimously cheered with approval at the way they shook things up in Breath of the Wild, seeing a Zelda game that looks to be so lacking in ambition does feel pretty disappointing. And look, I'm not saying that this is bad by any means. Not every Zelda game can or should be Breath of the Wild. The truth is, I don't think you would want every Zelda game from here on out to be Breath of the Wild. Think about it. Can you really say that you love the Zelda franchise if you never again want to see a game that plays and feels like A Link to the Past, or Ocarina of Time, or Wind Waker? For years we were asking Nintendo to shake things up, and they did. And as much as we Zelda fans want to see and want to play more Breath of the Wild-like Zelda games, I don't think that means we want to see 25 years of Zelda history to never be revisited again. The same linear style of Zelda gameplay should still exist. It should exist alongside the brand new open-air style that Breath of the Wild gave us. So in terms of game mechanics, I think seeing Link's Awakening getting a remake is great. I'd hope they'd add some new content as long as it fits within the same style of play and everything. But, just like they did with the first time they remade this game. Oh, and in case you're too young to remember this, this is the second Link's Awakening remake. It's the third time this game has been made anew, not counting, virtual console ports and whatnot. The first time it was remade, it was called Link's Awakening DX, and it was put on the Game Boy Color. That's right, this game is so old that its first release wasn't even in color. Anyway, to enhance the DX version of the game, Nintendo emphasized the importance of color by adding a color dungeon. Anyway, if they add anything to this game, I would hope they replace the color dungeon with some other kind of gimmick dungeon, like, HD Rumble or something like that. I'm not sure how it worked. We could just see something, though. Okay, this discussion has gotten way off track from what it was supposed to be about. What were we talking about again? Ah, yes. The art style. Is Nintendo just not being ambitious enough? Or are they slacking off? Did someone just say, what if they looked like the mini Mario's toys from Mario vs. Donkey Kong, but even more simplistic? And Mr. Newman just said, fine, whatever, just go with it, alright? Before we go any further, we need to answer this question, though. Is it okay to not like, or is it okay to hate this art direction? The answer is yes. You are perfectly within your rights to not enjoy the art of this game. To this day, I still hate the muddy textures and the horrifying faces of Twilight Princess, and the HD remake didn't do anything to help. Meanwhile, I love Wind Waker's art style, and while a lot of people have come around to enjoying it, there are still people who dislike Wind Waker's style. That's fair. Another question we need to answer is it okay to love the art style here? Yes. Yes, you can love it. Liking what Nintendo gave us doesn't make you Nintendo's yes man. We all know that you have a mind of your own, and you are capable of thinking for yourself, and still decide that you like this art style. And here's the kicker. I think a lot of people would have liked this art style had Nintendo not been showing us that cool, suspenseful cinematic right beforehand. It got them in the mood for something darker and grittier, more like an anime. It's like walking into a restaurant and smelling your favorite dish. The waiter walks up to you with this sizzling skillet with all your favorite foods, and then hands you an Italian cold-cut sandwich. There isn't anything wrong with that sandwich, and heck, you might have even wanted it at first, had you not already seen the good stuff. Oh, but now your mouth is watering because you saw what you cannot have. Is that the problem? Are we, as fans, just being ungrateful? Hey guys, check out this super cute Zelda remake I just made. Screw you, Mr. Anuma. We want anime Zelda, or open-air Zelda, not that garbage. But I worked really hard on it. Shut up! No, I don't think we're being ungrateful. I think we were teased, and not intentionally, but Nintendo should know better by now, especially since they did this once before. With Zelda, in fact. Nintendo gave us an epic battle between Link and Ganondorf being rendered on the GameCube. It was just a tech demo, but it got everyone excited. And then we got this. That one tech demo ruined Wind Waker for a lot of people for a long time. Is it right to tease fans this way? No, it isn't. But I don't think that it was intentional. If you were going to translate this kind of gameplay graphics from 26 years ago into something you'd see today, this kind of look would look like this, especially if you compare this Link to the Link we saw in the DX version's photographs. But the cutscene from back then looked like this. It looked nothing like what we saw in game. They put everything they had into an epic, detailed, albeit short cutscene, and so now, 26 years later, they gave us this awesome looking cutscene and very simplistic looking graphics, because that's what the original game looked like. It's fair to not like the art style. It's not fair, though, to act like Nintendo pulled a bait and switch. At least, that's how I see it. Hello, you wonderful people. Duffy here, and thank you for watching this video. If you want to hang out with me over on Twitch, you can by going to twitch.tv/ssjduffy, link in the description. I'm currently playing through Breath of the Wild Master Mode, but I also like to play Mario Maker levels, and I may even start doing some Tetris 99. Can't believe I just said that sentence, but it's true. Anyway, have fun out there, my friends.